That's Joel made it around Justin. Although I believe he's a lap down, so I don't think it really changed anything. Let's look. Yuppers. He's going to have to catch that lap up, or the other guys are going to have to pit. One of the two. Cameron's up here all by his little lonesome. Right now, the service is focusing on the Joel and a little target fixation there by Justin. And Joel is going to pull away. Excuse me, hopefully not to his detriment. But he's had a few laps around this track, and it only takes him a few to actually get good at a track. He's a pretty quick study. He'd never been on this track before. I went upstairs and gave him a few tips on where I found the fast line around here, like staying right, diving in early on that apex and let the car go out. He still does a little extra correction right through here that I do like Justin does and sort of straighten that sucker out. Dive in, take all that curb, let the car go out, and brake hard here. Otherwise, you're out in the gravel. This is a corner I cannot, for the love of God, get right. However, these S's, they my bitch. Both of these boys are taking way too much of that track. That's just a little light flick through there, and these cars will just set right down and go straight on through. That drives like lime rock. Just put your foot in it and know the car is going to turn. If you turn in early enough, you'll just drift on out to the curb, get caught by the curb, and then you're down the front straight. This front straight takes forever. And you have to remember that this is a big ass 180. Oh, we've changed cars. That first corner is a big 180. You turn in and you hold it, and you know it's going to change the apex, but you just drive on through. This is Norberto and Tim Megenhofen battling through the S's. And they're going to come out the other side, battle down into this last turn. Yeah, it looks like Norberto is going to take him. Tim's hot on his heels. Even though these cars are in position 4 and 5, I believe, they're a lap down to the lead car, as is Joel, so it's only car 1, 2 that are on the lead lap. However, this is a 40-minute race, and the fuel load and tires they've had to run through practice and qualifying. So if they haven't pitted the car and taken care of the car, likely the front runners are running low on fuel and are going to have to pit here towards the end of the race. So that can change up a lot of stuff. And Norberto is going to go wide, and some target fixation right there, as you saw, happened from Tim, and he chased him into the gravel. He recovered a little bit better, and he's going to be able to take a lead here on Norberto coming into this section of S's. I absolutely love this track, by the way. Those S's, when you get them just right, it's like butter. And with these little cars, it just takes a little flick of the wrist, and you're through there. You try too hard and you go too wide. That's Cameron in the Army Green car up front. He is P1. He was on the pole. He is, 22 seconds ahead of Justin. And it looks like that was probably Joel Harleman that just ended up in the, yep, up on the berm. And that's Justin Lee that just took his lunch. Here we're back up here with Tim and Alberto. Look at what our leader is doing. Oh, looks like our leader is Justin Lee. That would mean that Cameron has gone into the pits. And he's probably just now coming out from having to do a pit stop. And that is the way races go, kids. Let's take a look up here. Looks like the system is finding the most exciting action going on up here with Tim and Alberto. That's Norberto in the lead. Tim's in the back. I'm not sure where that change happened. Because we know on the last lap, Tim got him while they were both off in the gravel. This last turn, if you've ever, and there goes Tim off in the gravel again, that last turn, if you've ever been down to Lime Rock, it really drives a whole lot like that final turn in Lime Rock. You just have to turn it early, keep your foot in it, and know the car is going to stick. It takes a lot of guts to get through there fast. Incidentally, the first turn feels a whole lot like Lime Rock when you're coming off of that front straight. You've got to come down a little bit of the gear, and you turn in. It's a double apex, but there's no exit curbing like there is at Lime Rock. And this particular track, as you see, this big roundabout here, there's no exit curbing to catch you, so you've just got to know where the track goes and set yourself up to the outside for this next turn. Right there at that set of cones where you see Joel, I believe, is who we've got focused on right now. That little section is a lot of fun when you get it right, and you can't see over that when you're in the car, so you just got to know where your car is at, and you just keep your foot into it. Coming into this corner, you have got to be hard on the brakes. You're down in about second gear coming around that corner. I can't tell you anything about this corner because I can't do it. It's a late apex. I come into it too early. If those guys were a little closer on that right left-hand curb, they'd have straightened out that set of S's. The problem with that set of S's is there's a little bump in the middle, so you can't be flat on the gas coming through there, or the car is going to come out from under you. So you really have to be a little gentle on your gas until you get past that little flick to the right, and as soon as you get it straightened up to the left, you can get back on the fuel. The straightaway here takes forever. Joel started a pretty good line on there. Looks like he's going to exit this little complex pretty well. I think that is David Stockrider behind him in the blue car with the yellow flames on the front. It's a fast guy. If Joel can stay ahead of him, he's doing some work. Love this section here, but you've got to get so hard on that brake. Staying wide here, turning in late, letting the car get way out to that exit curb, using it for all it's worth, nipping the end of this, and straightening it up for there. As you see, Joel went a little bit wide, and David was about to take advantage of that. Not quite enough space to do that, but he's going to get a run on him here, and he's going to flicker right around him, and he'll beat him down here to this last corner. Yep, there you go. So David's taken him because of that little bit of extra wheel movement going into those S's. I would suspect through this next lap that Justin Lee, who you see right there ahead of David, is going to get schooled here in these corners. David's a really fast driver around here, and then Tim in the white and green car that you see up there ahead is going to get lapped. Tim's got a heck of a lot of time on track He's been all over this country in his car. This iRacing thing is a new kettle of fish for him, and sometimes those real-world laps don't translate very well to simulated driving. Works a little easier going the other way. Sim drivers tend to be able to translate the skills they learn here in the sims onto the real race course a little bit easier than it is when you're going in the reverse. David's really dogging on the bumper there of Justin Lee. And let's see if Justin's going to let him go by. No, he's going to, yep, he's going to come a little off. He's going to give David the room and let him get on by. This is going to give Joel a good opportunity to see a very good line around this track by following in the draft of David. Unfortunately, he's got Justin Lee right between he and David, so his visual is going to be a little bit skewed. Tim's up there in the front of the pack, holding up David, but David will come around him. You see, this is where he's not racing because of the glitchiness. David will get around him pretty easily. He's already done it. And I would imagine that Justin Lee, and there goes Joel off into the piece, and he's back on track. Didn't lose too much time. That's some handy car handling. See what happens here. That car that's bringing up the rear with the black and army green is Cameron Bidwell. He is, let's see what our results look like right now. So Cameron is still our first place car, and he's getting ready to lap the field and put everybody a lap down. So this will be quite an interesting thing if second place goes a lap down, which makes the rest of the field between 2 and 7 laps down. And see here on the straight, if Tim gives way, there goes Cameron slingshotting his way by, and Justin should take and go through on the train. Whoops, Tim's a little unpredictable there. That could have been bad if the turn-in was just... And Joel is rightfully hanging back and waiting to see what happens with this group of cars. Smart play. There you go. Tim has let the pack go by. Don't get in. It looks like he got a little target fixated trying to follow that pack through. It's easy to do in this sim racing environment because you don't have the butt gyrometer telling you what's going on. Oh, Cameron made a big error there. That's going to get him back down in the field a little bit, although he is still ahead of everybody. Now Joel is going to have a very bird's eye view of the right line around this track. Hopefully he'll take advantage of this little bit of school that he's getting from the fastest guy out there right now. Although it looks like he's going to give Justin Lee an opportunity to take him down this front straight. Yep, Justin's going to get ahead of Joel. Cameron, even with the bobble, is able to distance and put some distance on the pack there. Looks like Tim has taken the opportunity back there to see what some lines around this track look like. It's always a good thing. I like the way Cameron takes that particular turn. I eat all of that curb when I'm on this track and let that outside curb just catch me. He and I do this a little bit differently through here. I'm probably going to experiment with his line. I take that a little bit tighter and let the car drift out. I've never been able to hold that much speed through there, so I'm going to play with that a little bit and see what Cameron's doing that I'm not. Yeah, if watching Joel back there, I'd have turned in for that corner a little bit sooner. Modulated my throttle a little bit because it's bumpy through there. You can get way loose. And kept that a little tighter so I could caught up with the pack. Ooh, Cameron's getting a little crazy. Coming up on Norberto, who is the 19 car there. That red and black car is Norberto. He is going to give way, it looks like, handily to our leader there, Cameron Bidwell, who's taken a very nice tidy line through here. This takes a little bit of patience. It takes forever to get through that. I saw back there in the background that Justin got a little squirrely, and Joel was able to get around him. It probably slowed Joel up significantly though, because, well, no, he's right back there hanging. Cameron makes this track look easy. It's not quite as easy as it looks. That particular complex right there will slow you down with the quickness. Ask me how I know. And here Joel comes up on Norberto. Joel has much more sim experience than Norberto. Actually, Joel has more experience on track in real life than Norberto does. I've been rather impressed with how Norberto has been driving this sim. He's stayed up there in respectable positions through this entire series so far. So good on you there, Norberto. See if Joel can outrun him down here to turn 1. And I think we're going to see Norberto give way to Joel just before he gets into kind of the danger zone. Maybe he'll watch him through this line and see if he can pick up any tips. Joel's going to let the tail hang out there a little bit. I like this way wide. I like to come in here and eat this curb just like that. Let that car get all the way out to the exit curbing. And then you just have to know it's a straight line down. There's a whole lot of correction going on from Joel. I like that inside curb a lot more than he does. And that outside curb is your friend. If you can hold enough speed to get caught by that outside curb, hit that first curb in the S's late, you got to be real careful in that second corner. It's awfully bumpy. It'll throw that car right in the dirt. Joel's not shaking Norberto too much. Looks like the kid's figuring out some line work there from Joel. Hopefully he's actually driving the car and not getting a little target fixated and just chasing Joel down through these corners. That's always a bad idea. It'll get you into the dirt pretty quick. This is a 40-minute race, and I'm looking up here on our timer. We are at about 41.6. Takes about 3 minutes for the race to actually get started, so we should be looking at a white flag on our leader here very, very soon. That was actually a pretty good tail slide there by Norberto. I don't know that you would have been able to catch it there in the back. Let's take a peek over here at our front runner. Well, let's see where our leader's at. Oh, Joel just went out in the dirt. He was trying to stay ahead of Norberto, who was really just tailing him. And it appears that Cameron is still a P1. Looks like he's about ready to lap Justin here in P2. That'll be interesting if this race ends up with, well, Justin's already a lap down. Can this race end up with 2 laps down? Be impressive if that happens. That'll be one handy win. As you can see, my name is up there. I come into these races as a racing car so I can actually look and talk to the drivers. However, my system is not capable of running the sim, which is why you see some glitches. It's far, far worse when I'm actually driving. So I don't bother to drive so I don't jack up anybody else's race. We're going to focus on the leader here, and that way we can see how this race finishes. Whoop. Cameron was over there taking a little extra racetrack. He takes that line like I do. I beat the hell out of these cars on this racetrack. It's all about the curbs out here and Summit Point. Cameron had been a lot faster through there. He's trying to get around Justin right here. That right there, that curb is the one that is going to get you. If there's anything in those S's that's going to get you. Once you get past that curb, it's free sailing, hammer down. We should be coming up to the checker flag. I'm not going to see the checker flag because I'm not actually in the race. We'll know that they've received the checker when we see one of the cars pull over. I apologize for having to videotape my laptop screen, but this is as good as I got right now. And now that Cameron's around, if he's still at race speed, he is going to put some distance there on Justin Lee's car. Let's look back here in the pack, see where everybody else is at. Our third place car is Joel Harleman. He's still back there. He's going to take a little extra liberty with the limits of the track. Easy to do right there. As you can see, there's a huge gravel trap because people use it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. Noberto is still, well, actually, Noberto's got ahead of him. I think that was when Joel got a little wide on the last lap. Tim Megenhofen is back here having a lapping day all by himself. And David Stockrider, I don't believe is still in the race. He was just coming out to do a few laps and, well, mess with everybody and give them all the willies because he's a pretty fast guy. See what our results look like. It looks like, yep, we've got, we're winding down, cool down lap. Oh, Noberto puts it in the wall on the cool down lap. Well, that's not really going to help or hurt anything. Little extra cleanup to do after the race, but we've got about 1:40 left in our cool down lap. It looks like our race winner is going to be Cameron Bidwell, followed up by Justin Lee in second place, 2 laps down, but second place. Joel Harleman will be 2 laps down with a third place finish. I believe this is his first race of the season, and this is also his first race, well, first time driving on this track. Noberto is going to pull at 4th, and followed out by Tim Megenhofen and David Stockrider, who came out and turned a few laps just to mix it up. And that, my friends, has got our... Woohoo! There's Justin Lee doing some donuts in the dirt. Gotta love it. Good on you. Glad I was able to capture that. That's some fun stuff. Alrighty. Justin, you're killing me, buddy. This is why I love you. All right, that was a lot of fun. Okay, all right, that's all I got for you guys. See ya.